Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Barletti.
.com. And also, too, at Kia of Cheyenne, I want to remind you, when you're there online, they will also, sight unseen, do your appraisal of your current bucket of bolts. Yeah, and they'll give you Blue Book value, Kelly Blue Book value, sight unseen. So, again, you just follow the prompts and give them all the information, and your buying experience is going to be real easy at Kia Cheyenne. For more information, call 775-0123. Platte Valley Bank times 2, banking made very easy through the convenient drive-through. If you need to get inside, we'll talk to our friends over there at 778-0021. Platte Valley Bank on Vandehigh and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, right across from Powers Field. And Menards, Ray and Cindy's Place, serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday. They got a convenient 2 drive-thrus for you. So, again, you move pretty quick through the drive-thrus. Also, at Chick-fil-A, they do want to remind you to curbside. You can use their Chick-fil-A app, and you will be able to get all your good eats and treats from Chick-fil-A. I do want to mention this. No ice cream cones being served. Pro Tem. And also, too, they're going to be offering the flat lids for the milkshakes because no whipped cream and cherry on top for now. Medicare Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs, you can do your business inside. Just practice the social distancing. And Gene and the great staff will take good care of you with your doctor's prescription, or you can use the convenient drive-thru outside. Medicare Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Bruce and the crew say, come on in. Just use the hand sanitizer as you come into the sales and service office. And on the sales side, you'll find Frigidaire, GE, Whirlpool, Maytag, and other goodies for you today at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, part of Lennox Enterprises. Heather Lennox reminds everybody, again, limited hours, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., but the paint shop and the body shop still operational, as well as the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Call for more information or set up a time for an appraisal at 634-6608. First Tier Bank, just over at First Tier Bank. Again, they're still practicing the social distancing thing as well. Give them a call at 632-3500. Let them know that you're on your way. And their banking is done very easy as well. Open Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the street. Joe and the family invite you to come on in. Can you believe it? Joe Mondello already his 5th decade of business at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, in the Greenway Commons. Open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m., and they open up on Sundays at 12 noon. Delicious pizza, whether it's Sicilian pie, pizza pie, gourmet pizza. Hey, #1 in Wyoming and ranked in the top 10 by the Food Network, folks. Always fresh dough, and they know how to flip it. They've done this many, many times. Always fresh toppings. The bread's always baked fresh for those hot and cold Italian subs, along with those steak subs, and enjoy all the calzones, stromboli. They have salads and breads, delicious desserts, always on tap for you as well. Mondello's, as Joe begins his 5th decade in business, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, in the Greenway Commons. We also want to welcome on board the Bread Basket Bakery, Cheyenne's hometown bakery, better than ever, with pies and cakes and pastries and cream pies and cream cakes, and, of course, their signature bread. One thing that you need to know about Tana's Place, Dwayne and Tana's Place, hey, everything baked fresh right there, not trucked in. like we see down the road here. Again, you want fresh goodies. Hey, they even do special gift baskets for you, too. Offering curbside service right now. They're open from 6 a.m. till 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. till 1 p.m. on Saturday. Again, that is Tuesday through Friday from 6 a.m. till 4 p.m. The Bread Basket Bakery, their telephone number, 432-2525. And we always want to thank our scoreboard sponsor, which right now just says 2020 as we honor the classes of 2020. Right now, our scoreboard sponsor is Pepsi of Cheyenne. Nick, we'll go to you.
I was going to say, hopefully we get into something soon, again, with American Legion, Cheyenne Post 6, maybe even Cheyenne Extreme, hopefully soon. Again, we're still waiting on word if at least Post 6 could even step onto Powers Field. So, but hopefully very soon we will have baseball and softball action, at least here in the local side here in the city of Cheyenne. Also, too, maybe down the line, a little Expedition League as well, too, but we'll talk more about that on today's show. But I do want to remind folks outside of the sports world, but something that's coming up this Friday, just going brief over it here early on before we get to our first guest. But coming up this Friday between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., we will have, at least this being KYOY FM and 1480 KRAE, it will be Cruising Cheyenne 2020, which is a fundraiser for the Ford Greater Cheyenne COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. Again, 6 to 8 p.m. this Friday, downtown Cheyenne. We're encouraging folks to cruise downtown Cheyenne and listen to the greatest hits on the planet with KYOY 92.3 FM, 107.1 FM, or the classic oldies here on 1480 KRAE, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM. During that time, we're looking to raise funds for that Greater Cheyenne Relief Fund that, again, either online, which is fordgreatercheyenne.org. Again, all that information is online at the top of their, at least, page. Also, too, we will have designated deposit boxes for cash or checks. Those checks, if you are wanting to do that, again, will be made out to the Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce Foundation. All this information, including the map, again, where you will start at Warren and Lincoln Way, cruise up and down those one-ways of downtown and end at Pioneer and Lincoln Way. All that fun stuff is online at facebook.com/1480KRAE or facebook.com/KYYFM. So, again, this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m.
And may I add, especially on the local side, because 92.3 is our government-issued channel on the FM side, KYOY. Again, that is more for our eastern Laramie County, Platte, Goshen County, extreme northeastern Colorado, and the western Nebraska Panhandle. Here on the local side, just make sure if you are doing the FM thing, go to 107.1 FM and cruise with us coming up this Friday night. And again, here on 1480 KRAE, I will be back here in the house, and I will be taking your requests, 307-637-0328. Our first guest is on the way, and we'll be right back after this here on 1480 KRAE.
At Mountain Dew, we say here's to the doers.
The people who know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Who do it big.
Then do it bigger.
Who don't just watch.
So if there's something you wanna do,
Here's a little advice.
Grab yourself an ice-cold Mountain Dew.
and get to it.
That's right. Get going.
Get started.
Stand up.
Jump up.
Grab hold of it.
Throw down on it.
Run with it.
Now, right now.
Not tomorrow.
Not next week.
Next month.
Next year.
Work it out.
Grind it out.
Get stoked.
Get passionate.
And do it.
Do it till it hurts.
Do it till you can't.
Do it till you've done it.
And most of all, don't ask how other people do it.
Don't ask how you should do it.
Don't ask if it can be done.
Don't ask if it's ever been done.
Because there are those who don't.
And those who do.
At Mountain Dew, we say,
Let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do.
Do the do.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480KRAE.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC. Here's a fun event for you from 1480 KRAE and KYOI. We're proud to announce Cruising Cheyenne 2020, which is a fundraiser for the Forward Greater Cheyenne COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. This Friday, May 8th, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m., we're encouraging folks to cruise downtown Cheyenne and listen to the greatest hits on the planet on KYOI 107.1 FM or Good Times and Great Oldies 1480 KRAE AM and 101.1 FM. We're looking forward to raising funds during that time for the Greater Cheyenne Relief Fund through either online donations at forwardgreatercheyenne.org or at our designated deposit boxes with cash or checks. Checks to be made out to the Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Deposit boxes will be found at the corner of Warren Avenue and East 24th Street and Pioneer Avenue and West 18th Street the night of the event. Cruise the streets of Cheyenne while listening to the greatest hits on the planet on KYOI or Good Times and Great Oldies on 1480 KRAE, like the old days with other community members. Don't forget our song request line for that evening, 307-637-0328. 307-637-0328. Come and join KYOI and 1480 KRAE as we'll be cruising Cheyenne this Friday, May 8th from 6 until 8 p.m.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, increasing clouds, expected daytime high of 64, mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 37. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow and windy, expected daytime high of 59. Winds out of the west at 25 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And for Thursday night, it's going to be partly cloudy with a chance of rain during the evening and then gradually clearing after midnight, our low dropping down to 28 degrees.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today for a Wednesday as we're halfway home to the weekend, which, of course, during COVID-19 and a lot of folks basically doing business from home, just the days just continue to run on. But back in the day, we got all excited when it was Wednesday because it meant that Friday was right around the corner. Anyway, we are here. We are waiting our first guest to join us. We are anticipating in the second hour, Steve Wagner. He's the Expedition League president. We'll get a chance to chat with him. And of course, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, he owns 2 or 3 teams also in the Expedition League, as I recall.
I think so. Regarding probably the Sioux Falls franchise, again, all that information I think you can find on Wikipedia. But, yeah, without a doubt, we're just at least getting Steve on to talk about the recent delay to the start of the season for Expedition League. And it was decided over the weekend by them that they will no longer hit that May 26th, at least, start date. Again, that May 26th was supposed to start with Casper Horseheads hosting the Western Nebraska Pioneers and a few other teams getting underway in the Expedition League. But, again, they have delayed it. Again, the information on when they will start up is to be announced or to be determined by Steve and company. But again, that was announced, and also to a few other announcements as well regarding at least one of the Canada teams, the Wheat City Whiskey Jacks. They will no longer be able to play in Canada due to travel restrictions in and out of the country. So again, they will, at least according to the press release, now have all home games in the state of North Dakota. So, again, we'll talk all about that with Steve. But, yes, we are waiting our first guest, that being Kevin McKinney out of the University of Wyoming, to talk a few Cowboy news and notes, but also to get his thoughts on, what is the future going to look like? Where, again, right now, as we see the world kind of get, or at least some states get a little relaxed. Granted, UW has to follow guidelines of the NCAA, and they are the governing body that's going to decide, hey, do we have football? Are we going to do any summertime sports? Are summertime practices for football going to be delayed? And also, too, what are crowds going to look like through not only just D1 football, but throughout the NCAA? Again, I'm anticipating that War Memorial Stadium is not going to be packed one game this year.
Let's take it.
And that's not due to the fans.
Let's go one step further. Let's go to the National Football League. The way I'm understanding the NFL right now is that they are going to have a full schedule this year.
Yeah.
However,
But no international games.
Yeah, and no international games, which probably will disappoint the Jags because that's where they draw their best crowds. But the deal is we will probably see stadiums at half capacity. I think the social distancing thing is here to stay. And I think, the Ohio States of the world where they draw 100,000 fans and Michigan draws 100,000 fans, they're going to be limited to about 50,000 fans. I think we're going to see half crowds.
You're going to see folks, and again, it will be interesting to see how they do this, where, are they going to allow families of 4 to attend a game, but then do you have to space out to, at least – obviously, this is going to take a big brain trust throughout the NCAA and also to professional sports in general. How do you make sure this happens? Where, again, what if a family of 4 wants to go out and then you have to do that 6 feet apart or social distancing? How do you monitor that? How do you take an account for large groups, or is it something that –
I don't know on family, though, Nick, because, again, if you and me are going out to lunch – I'm not going to sit 6 feet away from you. I'm going to sit across from you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though. It's something where family of 4 together is going to be fine, or is it going to be?
Well, and again, too, you've got those special the Wildcatter boxes.
You're also, too, speculating if fans are going to even be allowed at football games this year.
I'm going to go on the positive note because the NFL seems to be pretty confident. And again,
and obviously the start of those seasons are about 4 months away.
And then you look at, and as a matter of fact, I was talking with our own Chris Polton yesterday, as trying to get an idea on what could possibly happen with the high schools. And with the high schools, there's 2 things that could possibly happen. I know we're going to have football, okay?
Yeah.
Either family is going to be allowed to watch the games, or just the media is going to be there, where you and me and Chris bring it
visually, yeah.
Visually. Again, I know they have the NFHS.
And hopefully they don't strong-arm us on that.
Well, let's be real. The NFHS is crap, okay? Yeah. And, what they're doing is they're going to try to make a buck. But the bottom line is we get to be the eyes and the mouthpiece for the games again. This was like radio in the old days. So I don't know. Again, there's a lot of I don't knows what's going to be happening here over the next couple of months. I think I read earlier today in the state of Wyoming, we're 400 plus right now in coronavirus. Is our phone ringing? Let's go to the phone. And we'll bring on our first guest. He is the UW Senior Associate Athletic Director, Kevin McKinney. Kevin, long time no talk.
I know. I hope you guys are doing well. I apologize for being a little late. I was in an impromptu meeting, which happens every once in a while. So my apologies to you. But I'm doing fine. I hope you guys are doing fine.
Virtual meeting that you were having?
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a few of us here, and there's like 5 of us in the athletic department. So probably the safest place in town, actually.
Kevin, I was thinking before we brought you on, and I remember reading the press guides because I always like to go back to the early days at the University of Wyoming in football, and I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like in the early 1900s that the football season was canceled due to a major flu epidemic that ran through the University of, or basically probably through the state of Wyoming. But this has been an interesting time here in the year 2020 for students, faculty, and athletics.
Well, it is. It's certainly for everybody, of course, but it's very strange because I suppose like everybody else, but it touches everything we do, absolutely every area. You can't talk about anything in our world that isn't touched, and so whether it's concessions or whatever it might be, you're touched by this, and you've got to make a plan on how to deal with it, and so that's what we spend a lot of time doing. There's no answers, so you kind of try to cover every eventuality and all your bases, and you're not going to be able to do that, of course, but if we just had some answers that we could plan, it would help, but we don't, and so we make all kinds of different plans.
Well, Kevin, as we were getting into the kind of crux of our conversation, waiting for you to call in to at least get you on for Wyoming Sports Talk today, we were just getting into kind of debate or at least talk about what the future is going to look like, and that even includes the University of Wyoming. And again, for football time coming up here in about 4 months over there in Laramie at War Memorial Stadium, where want to get your thoughts. Again, obviously things are not set in stone or in place, and obviously the NCAA is going to make their decision on how they approach football season here in 2020. But your thoughts and your opinions, Kevin, of are we going to see a full crowd? Is War Memorial Stadium in 2020 going to be sold out at a point in time, or do you think that UW, CSU, and other schools around this nation that are playing college football this fall are going to have to follow some social distancing, including with the fans in those stadiums?
Well, that is the million-dollar question, and I think that we are planning to have people. We want people in the stands, but maybe there will have to be some sort of a social distancing plan that may not be from us. It could be from the NCAA, obviously. It could be from the university. It's hard to say who will have the final say on it, but we're planning to be ready, whatever the idea is, whether it's temperatures at each gate or people 6 feet apart sitting in the stands, whatever it might look like, we're going to have to be ready for it. We would love to have the stadium filled with people sitting wherever they wanted to sit, but at this very day, that doesn't look like that's going to happen. Now, we would rather play in front of fans. If they say no fans, that's going to be a tough thing, and that's going to be very hard for all of us because kids want to play in front of fans. The NFL wants to play in front of fans, so that's going to be a major impact if the idea is that you can play, but there's no fans. So, we're certainly, we've got a plan that we will play as scheduled, but with some contingencies in terms of how to test people coming in, where they should sit, all that kind of thing. But we'd certainly rather not have a situation where the kids are out there in War Memorial Stadium with nobody at the game. That just doesn't seem right. But you still, they want to play games and they want to get ready for games and go through with it. But it'll be very difficult if the decision is made that we can't have people in the stands. That'll be a tough one. But if it comes down to no game or nobody in the stands, I suppose we would opt for a game with no people, but we'd probably opt for more of starting later in the year than have the regular schedule starting when it's scheduled to start with nobody in the stands. We would probably opt to move the season if you had a choice to where it was safe enough that people could come as regular as they regularly do. But we just have no idea what it's going to look like. As we sit right now, we're ready for whatever. If they want to move the season, I say they. If the NCAA says, we're moving the season to March or something, we do that if people can go to the games and enjoy the games. That would not be optimum either, but that would be better in our view, I think, than having games in September with nobody in the stands.
With delaying, or at least you're talking about for players out there, for those Cowboy athletes that will get on the field for at least the University of Wyoming there at War Memorial Stadium, you're talking about, hey, you want a crowd out there for them to kind of groove off of, or at least for them to play in front of fans and just feel that college football atmosphere. But also, too, where you're talking about, hey, we'd rather delay the start of the season to kind of get fans into War Memorial Stadium. Is it also, to a point that it's a little financial driven for the University of Wyoming, for that athletic department that also too got hit due to the fact that there was no March Madness, and there was a good chunk of change that's missing for athletic departments across the entire nation as well?
Absolutely. Of course, it's a financial matter too, because with nobody there, then now you're refunding tickets. You don't have any concessions. You have a major impact on your budget and your ability to generate revenue. And so absolutely, it's a financial thing. And I don't know that a school in the country could withstand that. That would be such an impact that there would be unbelievable ramifications. The trickle down of that would be unbelievable.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you
much like the NCAA tournament was when they canceled that. Look at what happened because of that cancellation. Football would be 10 times greater than that.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you to be the mouthpiece here for the Cowboy Joe Club, because usually at this time we're talking about the summer tour across the state of Wyoming, and that includes golf tournaments. Obviously, a lot will hinge on what Governor Gordon has to say within the next few days about relaxing some restrictions, but has the Cowboy Joe Club got a contingency plan put together, or are we going to see Kevin McKinney and the gang come over to Cheyenne and play some golf?
Well, that's obviously another situation, Larry, where we've had to make several different plans. I think, number one, you want to have as many as you can. Number two, you got to wait and see what the lay of the land is for the state of Wyoming in terms of travel. Are we going to probably have to cancel a few? I would suspect so. We had some coming up at the end of this month, so obviously that's not going to happen. But we want to save a few and still get out in the state and do some outreach as best we can. It does, as you say, it depends on what the governor says and what the state of Wyoming will allow us to do. We're hopeful that later in the summer we could have a few of those dates. When you start moving them, there's one thing about moving tournaments. There's another thing about golf courses not having availability. They're very busy during the summer, and they'll be even busier this summer when they really get rolling. So if we can't find a date in that particular town, then we're not going to be able to have the tournament. So there's a lot of moving parts involved in that as well. But we're going to try to salvage as much of the golf series as is allowed. Let me put it that way. It probably will not be the full tour, but hopefully it will be a few dates. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Real quick, I want to go back to football, and I know we also want to talk about Coach Linder. He's been very busy during quote an off time, but again, thank goodness for technology, he can stay busy. But real quick on the football side, with Coach Bull and his staff, obviously they've been busy too. But we nix obviously spring practice, which is very important to kind of set a little depth chart as we get ready to head into summer camp. We know that Sean Chambers has been given the okay to play ball, but obviously, again, for guys of our age that have gone through a lot of things in our life, something brand new has been thrown our way. How has Coach Bull and the team adapted to all of this?
Well, and that's been difficult, and of course, as we all know, it's they've done it from afar with the kids in terms of what windows you can actually communicate with them, and what you can actually have done during those windows. Of course, they're certainly going to school as well, but not sure when they're going to be able to come back. We obviously want to bring them back when we can. When they do come back, there'll be a quarantine, obviously. Craig is an interesting guy because he's of the old school, and he's a throwback, and he's stated this publicly. He doesn't think that there's as much prep time necessary as as he says, the younger guys believe there is. So he feels like a 6-week preparation time would be enough. I know a lot of the younger coaches in the country are saying, well, there's got to be at least 8 weeks. I don't think Craig feels that way. And maybe that's the old school way, but he feels like he can get his team ready in 6 weeks. It's just a matter of, well, when can we bring them back to start that 6 weeks? Because once they do come back, they're going to have to quarantine, and so there's a 14-day there. So if they came back on whatever date, it's going to be 14 days before they can even get out and start running around and working with weights and all the other things they have to be doing. So, but we're ready for it whenever it happens. Whenever we're told that it's lifted and we can get going, the kids will come back and they will have 14 days, and then they'll go through workouts and whatnot. Not practice yet, but working out, lifting weights, that kind of thing.
Kevin, I want to get your thoughts on, at least regarding football, but also to other athletics, that year 2021, it was announced about a couple weeks ago by the NCAA that they decided that, hey, we're going to finally pay those athletes with likeness rights and all that fun stuff. That's kind of been the big outcry. We saw the state of California basically overstep the NCAA and say, hey, we're going to do it for our schools. NCAA kind of follows suit, but I want to get your thoughts and opinions on that decision by the NCAA to pay student athletes, again, across the entire country, every school that offers athletic, at least sports. Is it something that you see that could be a negative in the long run for the smaller schools, for the mid-majors, or is it something that could be an overall positive for all of college athletics?
Well, I think it could be a positive. I mean, these kids should be able to generate revenue off their name if there are entities out there that want to do that. It's going to you're going to have, and we do. Peter Prigge is our compliance person. He's going to have to be on top of that situation. It's going to be interesting to see if they send out a list, for instance, of these type of entities can't contact kids, or if it's open to anybody. I think some of these kids are going to have to hire agents of some sort to work with them on these things. I'm sure there's going to be kids who say, I'm going to run a summer camp, which is fine. They're going to have to do some legal things, though, and they're going to have to worry about liability, and there's a lot of things connected to that kind of a proposition that they don't really think about, I'm sure, but that will be hitting them right in the face. But I think if Sean Chambers can benefit from his name, and the rules, of course, they cannot use our marks when they're advertising for somebody. You just simply, like he could say, I'm Sean Chambers, I'm a quarterback. But there's people out there that would want him to do that for their business. And so I think he should be allowed to do that. That's what's going to happen now. So will it impact Wyoming as much as LSU? Of course it won't. But it will impact, and I think there'll be some takers out there with some of our student athletes. And I think we feel like, more power to them, and I hope it does help them some. But there'll be a lot of issues that crop up with this that, like anything else, you got to continue to make rules and make sure that they're doing the right thing, and make sure that they're not being taken advantage of. It's a can of worms. There's no doubt about it, but it's something that we wouldn't be against by any means. So we'll just work with it and see how it goes, and I guess go with the flow, so to speak.
Kevin, a couple of alumni moving to the National Football League, getting drafted. Again, some free agent contracts also have been divvied out. But, the old saying, local boy makes good, and I'm sure everybody in the athletic department has to be very proud, and I know the Oil City very proud of him as well. Logan Wilson, too bad he's not on the other side of the football. He could be catching stuff from Joe Burrow, but a Cincinnati bungle.
Yeah, how about that? We absolutely, we're so excited, and when any of the kids get drafted, you're so happy for them, as all of their teammates are. I mean, these are guys that have earned it, and they've worked hard and gotten themselves in position to be drafted, and nobody has worked as hard as Logan. And to know him is to just really respect what he's all about, and know that he's a special guy. He has been able to benefit from outstanding coaching and all that. But you know what? He put in the work, and he is a self-made guy and a great player who has benefited from all that hard work, and we couldn't be more thrilled for him. Cash as well. I mean, Cash is a guy who loves Wyoming, loves this school, even though he wasn't from here, and it's great for him to get this opportunity as well. It's just a big deal. It's a dream come true, and we all wish maybe it could have happened to us, so we have to live through them because it didn't. And when they mentioned Logan's name that night, it was so thrilling, and very proud of him, as you say, very proud of him, and always a little more proud of a guy who made it from Wyoming.
And final thought here, and Kevin, in advance here, we want to thank you again for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We want to talk about Jeff Linder at the remainder time that we have. He has been one busy son of a gun. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has one scholarship left, but he's been hard at it since he's taken over the gig.
Well, yeah, it's an unbelievable undertaking when you take a new head coaching job. I mean, obviously the first thing you got to do is make sure the family's going to be okay. The second thing you got to do is get a staff, and then obviously you've got to re-recruit the players that are in the program before you get the newcomers coming in. So it's a whirlwind, and it always is. Jeff is my 13th head basketball coach here. It's been the same way for each and every one of them. But to do the job that he's done by phone, virtually and by phone, is remarkable. What they've done, and as he said, it's kind of like the old days of recruiting, where you got on the phone and you worked the phones and really built relationships through the telephone. That's not as difficult, or that's a lot more difficult than it sounds. Did virtual tours of the facilities with these young guys, and most of them had never been here before. So we went out with our video crew, and they did virtual tours of the campus, virtual tours of all of our facilities. And Jeff and his staff sold these kids on that and them. And I know that, for instance, Odin the other day said that I could tell that he was straightforward and he was honest, and I would be proud to play for him. Well, how do you do that by phone? That's not easy to do. And he and his staff did that. We won't know for a while how good a class it was, but on paper it was a very good class, given it was his first year and given the circumstances under which he was recruiting.
Kevin, again, we want to thank you. I know Nick across the way appreciates you joining us here today, and fingers crossed, again, the governor's going to give us the restart button, and hopefully life can, we can start opening the windows again and having some fun.
Let's hope so. We're all looking forward to that day.
All righty,
so it's
Kevin.
always good to be with you guys.
Thank you so much. Kevin McKinney,
Okay.
UW Senior Associate Athletic Director, joining us here on 1480 KRAE. We will take a break. We'll be right back.
Did you know B&B Appliance and TV has a local warehouse where they stock a variety of appliances in a wide range of colors and finishes, including black and white? Their friendly staff realizes that one look isn't for everyone, and appliance shopping isn't always convenient. B&B Appliance offers free in-town delivery and disposal of your old appliances. They'll be there for you after the sale, too, because they always service what they sell. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
With all this newfound time at home, it's good to get an easy win for the whole family. So this month, we're turning Taco Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Get our 6-pack and a pound. That's 6 savory beef tacos and a pound of crispy potato olays for $2 off any day of the week. Taco John's. See you in the drive-thru.
Drive-thru still open for all your family's favorites with easy ordering on the app and delivery at participating locations with the Taco John's app.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicare Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicare Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicare Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Family owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444. Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, increasing clouds, expected daytime high of 64, mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 37. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow and windy, expected daytime high of 59. Winds out of the west at 25 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And for Thursday night, it's going to be partly cloudy with a chance of rain during the evening and then gradually clearing after midnight, our low dropping down to 28 degrees.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
I know Nick wants to go back on talk about the situation with the collegians, but I do want to mention this. I'd be remiss if I did not. I have to say happy birthday to the Say Hey kid today. 89 years young, Willie Mays, who, again, he is Mr. Giant. He is our boy of San Francisco Giants. And, again, he's still part of the organization.
New York Giants.
Yeah, but he made the trip out to San Francisco, had a great career. I will say this. In 1971, when Willie got hit number 3,000, I missed it by a day. My dad and I went out on a Saturday against Montreal and saw him get hit 2,999. Next day, he got 3,000. But again, 1971. Here's a career for Willie Mays, 22 years, and New York Giants, San Francisco Giants, and he wrapped up his career as a New York Met. And in 1971, it's interesting, that year that he got hit number 3,000. He's, 40 years old at the time, signed one of the biggest deals, $162,000 a year, $1,000 per game for Willie Mays. But again, 660 career home runs, career batting average of .302, 3,283 hits, Hall of Famer, beloved in the game of baseball. Not just San Francisco.
Does Willie Mays have a case to be the greatest baseball player of all
You
time?
put him in the top. You could put him in the top 10, maybe the top 5.
I think top 5.
Because, again,
I think he makes a good case of where you kind of hold Babe Ruth as the all-time, the legendary.
Well, and Henry Aaron. You can't,
Henry Aaron as well,
but
too,
again, you have to look at the Babe. You have to look at Henry Aaron. You look at Willie Mays. Again, Willie Mays, the all-around baseball player.
Good on defense, offense.
And he was one that was, I think he was more pushed to break the Babe's record than Henry Aaron was. And then Mays, as he got older, hit less home runs. But again, 660 career home runs. And then again, you have the younger guys that came through, the Barry Bonds of the world, the Ken Griffey Jr.'s, even a great athlete like Bo Jackson. Who knows what Bo Jackson could accomplish in his career if he wasn't felled by the injury. But again, arguably a top 5, definitely in the top 10, because there was a lot of great players, Stan the Man Musial. You just go right down the list, especially Pete Rose. You can't leave Pete Rose off that list.
Yeah.
So, and again, a lot of these home run hitters. But again, Willie Mays, I'm fortunate in my lifetime. I got to see a lot of Willie Mays baseball out at Candlestick Park, and including, like I said, was there with, my dad, and we saw hit 2,999 against the Montreal Expos back in 1971. Gosh.
And the Giants always do something special on this day, but unfortunately, again, nothing is happening right now. So.
Well, we're remembering him because he is, like you said, he's one of the great ones. Again, love him, the Say Hey kid, and again, you still find time. He's a little slower now, obviously at age 89, but they still find time to sit down with him and get a few voice clips from him. He's still very, very focused on everything these days as well too, Mr. Giant himself. All right, going back to what you and Kevin discussed.
Want to talk a bit about the collegiate kind of thing where, again, we haven't had a chance to kind of give our thoughts and opinions on the NCAA ruling, or at least decision, to pay athletes for their likenesses, again, for autograph signings, for anything like that, again, anything that attributes to a Sean Chambers, to a Joe Burrow, whoever it may be. And it's not even just football, basketball. It encompasses all athletics. All athletics for the NCAA. And again, it's just for the NCAA. Again, for junior college, for the likes of those going to LCCC, hey, that's not happening. Once you move up to that next level, then, you have that shot at it. Again, it's an NCAA ruling. But, again, want to get thoughts from Kevin, where, again, he's there with the University of Wyoming. He's going to see the internals and knows what's going to happen, or at least can see what's going to happen not only at UW in the Mountain West, but also across the nation through the other kind of Power 5 conferences. My thoughts and opinions, again, I have no issue with paying athletes. I think I'm on the vein with a lot, or at least a good majority, that said, hey, you should have done this years ago or a long, long time ago. Give them their options, since, again, they're already out there as pretty much employees for these universities that are garnering millions of dollars already from.
Technically, college is a form of semi-pro.
Yeah.
To be real honest.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And I think back here, and again, just not getting off track, Nick, but again, when I got drafted out of high school to play baseball, and I opted, I was low in the draft, and again, my dad said, hey, I really want you to go to college. That way you can build up your stock. So technically, going to college, you are a semi-pro, because if you're drafted out of high school, where do you go to? You go to rookie ball, you go to the minor leagues, and you get paid money. So,
not the grandest of money, but you still get paid. Yeah, you are an employee of that organization without a doubt.
So,
but
like I said, technically, it's a semi-pro league, and you're right. People are benefiting off players' names.
But here's the difference, though, between being drafted and instantly going into semi-pro, baseball, football, whatever it may be. Again, college athletics is all about, as Kevin talked about with Jeff Linder, and again, with Craig Bull, with any other coach. And again, it's not even just D1 four-year schools, JUCO as well too. But again, it's a recruiting process where you're trying to trust the athlete that you're trying to attempt to get into your program, but also too, you're offering up, hey, we can give you that instant start on our team, or we're going to put you at this position, or we can offer this, and here's a little swag bag for you to take home in some stuff for your family or something like that. Again, schools do that all the time of, hey, let's offer up what we can do for your athlete to come play for us, because we know that you can be something big, or at least contribute, and hopefully for a bigger and better, at least victorious program. But with this new ruling by the NCAA, which again is not in effect until at least I do believe next year, but you wonder for the mid-majors for the University of Wyoming. Again, Laramie, Wyoming, out there in the middle of Albany County, here in the state of Wyoming, where city of Laramie has about 7,000, 10,000 people.
About 30,000.
Either way, again, it's not a whole lot compared to the likes of folks that are going to Northwestern. Or you're going to the University of Miami. Columbus, Ohio, yeah, without a doubt. USC down there in Los Angeles, UCLA, where, bigger markets, bigger opportunities for those, as Kevin kind of alluded to, hey, Sean Chambers can, be recruited by us or a business saying, hey, here's my name, I'll promote your business, and there you go, and you pay him some money like that. Well, we're kind of limited here in the state of Wyoming, where here's this option, here are these opportunities. Here's also a chance for him to go sign, compared to the likes of in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, Miami, all these other kind of major markets for those that are going to get recruited to. And it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. But, I feel like that's going to be something that plays in a bit of a factor of recruiting once this is in effect of, hey, not only can I do X, Y, and Z, but here's A, B, C, D of money-wise as well, too, of, hey, come to USC, come to Los Angeles where, hey, it's Hollywood. But maybe you get some acting opportunities. Here's some ads that you can do for MasterCard, for Nike, for Under Armour. They'll pay you big money on a contract like this. And again, we're here in Wyoming, CSU, the Montanas of the world. Again, you're kind of limited on that. University of Idaho, Idaho State, Boise State, possibly
the Air Force, or Navy, or Army. But here's the deal about that too. And again, this goes back because the big gripe was a long time ago was these athletes, student athletes, are getting room, board, and their education paid for. And think about it by today's dollars and cents.
Which, again, out of student body basis that are non-athletes, again, that is kind of, not everyone who goes to school gets that opportunity.
But what about that honor student that is going to go to NASA or is going to become a high-dollar attorney or, is a great farmer, whatever the case may be? They don't get recognized because of athletics. And athletics, again, it stands on its own merit. Mm-hmm. You're good at sports. You're going to go somewhere, and you're going to you'll definitely thank the University of Wyoming. But again, we forget that these guys are already compensated to a certain degree. Nothing's coming out of their pocket to go to the University of
Meals
Wyoming.
taken care of, again, due to the fact that they have meal plans in place, or at least they're trying to keep them nutrition. Again, room and board. Absolutely, again, they're taken care of with shoes, cleats, all that fun stuff, because, again, it's all sponsored through whatever, Nike, Adidas.
And what they're trying to do now is take the boosters out of it, because, again, let's be real, some of the boosters, especially in the South, in the Texas area, the big oil guys, You know, they threw a lot of money. Look what they did
says
to SMU.
who says those boosters that though can't add up or at least put up that money? Again, obviously that's up to the NCAA, and you would assume that they're thinking a lot of this through to kind of keep it as an even playing field for the entire, not only just D1, but again, you got to include D2, D3 on down to keep this in line, or at least keep some sort of even nature across the board. Where yes, USC does not have any competitive advantage over the University of Wyoming. The LSU of the world, or again, University of Miami does not have a competitive advantage over the University of Idaho up there in Moscow, Idaho. Again, you would hope and assume that NCAA has something in place or in plan to keep it an even playing field. But if they don't, that's where that slippery slope can kind of continue on of, hey, if we're adding money on top of this, where again, it's kind of, as we're talking off air, at least in the break, with these athletes, especially if you're trying to recruit them, now you're kind of approaching this as if it's a business opportunity or a job opportunity, saying, hey, we'll pay you kind of almost a salary position with all these ads or at least signing opportunities. Here's the X of money that we're anticipating that you can make, or at least a possibility. As an impressionable kind of teenager, USC is going to offer me, maybe a couple tens of grand, $100,000. Well, the University of Wyoming, granted, it'd be awesome to go there, but
again, it's a slippery slope, Nick. And again,
only assuming. But
I know, but you mentioned like the likes of Moscow and UW and CSU, but then you also threw in there the Miamis of the world, the Oklahomas of the world. Louisville. You can go right down the list. USC and all of these major programs at one time or another have been ticketed for illegal activities.
Yeah.
So what basically the NCAA is, to a certain degree, to a very lesser degree, is trying to even the playing field.
And granted, NCAA doesn't even have an even playing field, some argue as of right now, due to the fact that, hey, yeah, University of Miami can spout off of, hey, look at all these sponsorships, here's what we can do for you, here's our upgraded facilities. It's the best in the world compared to all these other schools. And again, that's going to be rightfully so due to the fact that, hey, UW, as much as they're trying to build into it, they're not going to have as the intense or at least magnificent facilities as a USC or again Northwestern or whatever, the Ohio State. Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to control it, and again, take it out of the boosters' hands, because again, go to the South. A lot of those boosters are dirty.
Yeah,
and they have really blackened.
Go back to what the 80s with SMU.
Yeah, and again, where you give your program the death penalty for stupidity or offering, hey, I want a car, I want money, I want a new home for my mom, whatever the case may be.
And again, those death penalties really, at least in the long run, or at least the grand scheme, really. It's not all that terrifying. Again, look what happened.
It hurts your program. No,
it hurts the program. But again, people still continue to do it. Hence the reason why. Again, you look at the infamous Rick Pitino. Hey, screw you, Louisville. I'm going to move on.
Yeah,
I don't care.
But again,
and I got my wins.
And his baggage is going to follow him. But again, going back to
but still, as we talk about, teams were still interested in teams still picked them up.
Going back to SMU, look how long it took for that program after they got the death penalty. Again, that means no postseason play, no scholarships.
SMU is that one smaller school that could not survive it. But again, look at USC with football.
They've had some problems there after Pete Carroll.
But again, they survived it, though, and now they're back in kind of that relevancy where they were anticipated to be in that at least Final Four for the college football playoff, again, where they were a powerhouse with Pete Carroll. He left. They got hit with a death penalty. It took them a while to get back into some kind of stability, but they found it, and they're back at that kind of powerhouse.
And what you don't know is how much money it cost them. It cost them a pile of cash.
Yeah, but USC, again, look at how much students pay to get into that private school.
I understand that, but
I think that they...
Pete Carroll and Reggie Bush
it's a well-off school that can afford a death penalty.
All right. Well, you and I will kind of disagree on that one as well. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We will be joined by our next guest. He is Steve Wagner, Expedition League president. Matter of fact, he is an owner of, I do believe, 3 of the franchise teams in the Expedition League. We're going to chat with him coming up after we take a quick break.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. Thank you for joining us. Our program being brought to you by the Breadbasket Bakery, Cheyenne's hometown bakery, better than ever, 19th and Maxwell. And you can reach our good friends Tuesday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 432-2525 for curbside. Saturdays from 6 until 1. Mondello's Pizzeria. Again, Joe beginning his 5th decade of business, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And Mondello's right there. You can go to the convenient takeout window, 778-6068, open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m. And Sundays they're open at 12 noon. We want to thank First Tier Bank right across the street, open Monday through Friday. Give them a call, 632-3500. You need to do some banking. Tim and the great staff will always take care of you. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, again, limited hours right now at the 1020 Dunn Avenue location, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Give them a call, 634-6608. Now, again, they're still doing the body shop work. They're still doing the painting, still doing the auto glass and detailing part. But if you give them a call, set up an appointment time or an appraisal time, they'll take care of you, 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. And, again, you got the sales office. Right next door is the service office. And, again, Bruce and the crew invite you to come on by as they, again, are taking precautions as well. Hand sanitizers. You walk right in the doors over at B&B Appliance and TV. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs next door to Texas Roadhouse. See Gene and the great staff over there on Bluegrass Circle. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menard, serving up 3 delicious squares. Again, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Again, no ice cream cones for the time being, and no whipped cream and cherry on top for your milkshakes is going to be served to you in a flatlet. Again, just for a little while. We'll be getting that back.
Go buy yourself a can of Ready Whip and cherries at the store, and there you go.
I know, but it's not as special as it's made by our friends over at Chick-fil-A. But again,
you have to improvise during these times.
Now you got to pull Clint Eastwood on me. Adapt, improvise. Platte Valley Bank. Oh, Chick-fil-A, Windmill, Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. Again, open Monday through Saturday, where they have 2 convenient drive-thrus and offering curbside as well. Platte Valley Bank times 2. On Vandehigh, the original location, and again at the corner of College and Pershing, where you can go through the convenient drive-thru, or if you need other services, please give them a call, 778-0021. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Practicing, yes, they are as well, too. They're sanitizing the facility every hour, and hand sanitizer there if you want to do your business face-to-face. If you want to do it online, you can do that, Key of Cheyenne. Hey, don't forget, they'll even deliver your automobile to you as well. So, again, call our friends at Key of Cheyenne, A.J. Miller and the great staff over there, 775-0123. And we also want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, where, again, the international headquarters based here in Cheyenne. They have their Taco John's app. You can use their convenient drive-thrus because there's 5 of them to use. South Greeley Highway, KRAE Avenue, right here, Del Range and Ridge, Persian Ridge, and on Yellowstone Road. So, again, enjoy Tex-Mex cuisine. Taco Tuesday every day right now at Taco John's of Cheyenne. And no scoreboard, but when we get that thing lit up again, and it's going to be burning brightly, it's brought to you by our very special friends at Pepsi of Cheyenne. Nick?
And hopefully here it's about in 9 days with some post-6 action, but again, that'll be to be determined. But I do want to remind folks coming up to at least this Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, Friday, May 8th, KYY FM 1480 KRAE. Again, sister stations are proud to announce that it will be Cruisin' Cheyenne 2020, which is a fundraiser for the Forward Greater Cheyenne COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. Again, happening this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m., where we're encouraging folks to cruise downtown Cheyenne and listen to the greatest hits on the planet with KYY FM.
107.1 FM.
Or the great good times, the great oldies here on 1480 KRAE, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM. We're looking to raise funds during that time for the Greater Cheyenne Relief Fund through online donations, which you can go online. The link is also posted on our social media side. But again, it is www.forwardgreatercheyenne.org. It's at the top. Again, you just find that COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund link, and it's all there. Also, too, we are offering as well designated deposit boxes with cash or checks. Those checks, if you want to do do it should be made out to Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce Foundation. The deposit boxes will be found at the corner of Warren Avenue and East 24th Street and Pioneer Avenue and West 18th Street the night of the event. Again, cruise the streets of Cheyenne, where you'll start at, Warren and Lincoln Way, go up and down those one-ways of downtown Cheyenne to end eventually at least at Pioneer and Lincoln Way. Again, the map is also online. Again, 1480 KRAE, Facebook.com/1480 KRAE, Facebook.com/KYYFM. Also, it's pinned at the top of all those pages, and also on Twitter on my account at Nick Wiles Sports. So again, all that information, the links, the map, all that fun stuff on those social media sites for you to tune in and at least find out what's going on. Again, this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Steve Wagner of the Expedition League. He is the president of the league. He'll be joining us next right here on 1480 KRAE.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds.
We're best buds. And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi!
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Here's a fun event for you from 1480 KRAE and KYOI. We're proud to announce Cruising Cheyenne 2020, which is a fundraiser for the Forward Greater Cheyenne COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. This Friday, May 8th, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m., we're encouraging folks to cruise downtown Cheyenne and listen to the greatest hits on the planet on KYOI 107.1 FM or Good Times and Great Oldies 1480 KRAE AM and 101.1 FM. We're looking forward to raising funds during that time for the Greater Cheyenne Relief Fund through either online donations at forwardgreatercheyenne.org or at our designated deposit boxes with cash or checks. Checks to be made out to the Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Deposit boxes will be found at the corner of Warren Avenue and East 24th Street and Pioneer Avenue and West 18th Street the night of the event. Cruise the streets of Cheyenne while listening to the greatest hits on the planet on KYOI or Good Times and Great Oldies on 1480 KRAE, like the old days with other community members. Don't forget our song request line for that evening, 307-637-0328. 307-637-0328. Come and join KYOI and 1480 KRAE as we'll be cruising Cheyenne this Friday, May 8th from 6 until 8 p.m.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
At Kia of Cheyenne, we work hard to give you the best experience and value in a new vehicle. I'm AJ Miller, and the new 2020 Kia Optima has a lot of impressive available features. Standard 8-inch color display, auto emergency braking, and high beam assist. Available technology gives your compatible phone remote start with climate control, remote lock, or unlock roadside assistance. Come by Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, increasing clouds, expected daytime high of 64. Mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 37. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow and windy, expected daytime high 59. Winds out of the west at 25 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And for Thursday night, it's going to be partly cloudy with a chance of rain during the evening and then gradually clearing after midnight. Our low dropping down to 28 degrees.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Today, the KRAE, Larry Proetti. Along with Nick Proetti, we bring on our next guest. He is the Expedition League president, also owner, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 franchises. Steve Wagner joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Steve, good to have you back on the program.
Hey, Larry and Nick, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's good to be back with you guys.
You know, again, 2020 is going to go down in the annals of what the hell went wrong? I mean, we've got COVID-19, we've got Asian Hornets. I mean, I don't know if I want to be patrolling the outfield in the Expedition League. I mean, they're making it so we don't want to play. What the heck is going on this year?
Weird year, isn't it? It's crazy. Who knew that we would ever have something like this to have to navigate? But we're getting through it, you know, and welcome to planet Earth, I guess. There are always challenges to overcome, and we're working hard to overcome those challenges and hopefully have an Expedition League season this summer.
All right, Steve. Well, I was going to say, again, as it was anticipated, May 26th was the opening day for the Expedition League, but it was announced in past couple days online and through the other franchises in the Expedition League. But, again, start of the 2020 season has been delayed. In the press release on the Expedition League, at least website, again, a time date has not been announced yet, but again, due to the fact that Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming all having kind of different rules, distancing, all that obligation fund stuff. Again, it was just decision by the Expedition League to delay the start. But Steve, is there any update on what is the timeline? When can we expect the opening day for the Expedition League?
Yeah, it's a little bit fluid right now, just like you said. There are a lot of kind of moving pieces. The good news for us is, all 4 of our states are fantastic parts of the country to be in, just as far as, less incidence of some of these outbreaks, if you will. And so the numbers so far have been fairly good in our part of the world. And so, having said that, even though no formal stay-at-home orders were issued, there certainly were different guidelines and regulations and restrictions placed on gatherings and athletic events and things of that nature. And it varies a little bit state by state, pretty consistent across our 4 states. So we're just, we're taking it day by day like we have been for the past 6 or 7 or 8 weeks now. And our hope is to get started, obviously as soon as we can. We need a little build-up time for the players to come in and kind of have a preseason or spring training, if you will. But, we're hopeful that the middle of June can be our opening day, so our season gets pushed back 2-3 weeks, something like that. That's what we're really pushing for. We're all working hard toward that end, and hopefully we can achieve that.
So with the potential of mid-June, and hopefully that is when it does happen for the Expedition League opening day around that time frame, but with that kind of delay to the start of the season, does that mean that it is a now shortened season for 2020, or do weeks now extend into a little bit past of what the original end date was for the Expedition League?
Yeah, we're looking to extend our end date a bit, and we've built about 4, 5, maybe 6 different contingency schedules for this season, and the one that we have that has us starting on Tuesday, June 16th, would run. Our regular season would run through Wednesday, August 19th, and that would be a 58-game season. So it'd be pretty close to our normal 64-game season. We would eliminate the divisional round of the playoffs. So the first half winner versus the second half winner in each of our divisions, the Lewis division and the Clark division, would not take place, and we would just have each division champion for the regular season play in our 3-game league championship series. And that would that would happen August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. So we would finish up with the playoffs on Sunday, August 23rd. So that would be, I'd feel pretty good about that in light of what we're dealing with here, that we would actually have a 58-game season, and I think it'd be very, very successful, even with, knocking off a couple of games off our normal schedule.
Steve, you have to be very busy besides manning phones and also doing virtuals and probably keeping in touch with all the governors, talking about Kristi Noem and Doug Burgum, and of course our own governor here in Wyoming, and even in Nebraska, Governor Ricketts, and along with all of the state health departments. And like you said, everybody's got a different. I don't want to use the word philosophy, but they've got different plans set out. And how do you work around all those different plans right now?
Yeah, it's a challenge, no doubt about it, Larry. I mean, it's one of those things where we just have to stay really close to what's happening in each state. Like you said, not only at the state level with what's happening, from the governors, but also locally, because Nebraska, for example, there are differing guidelines right now based on what county you're in. So we're not only looking at, state mandates and guidelines, but we're also looking county by county and, of course, city by city. So I'm trying to stay in as close contact as possible. All of our owners are doing the same thing in their applicable markets and cities. And, that may come into play depending upon if there are maybe a state or two that has maybe a few more restrictions than others. We may have to modify our schedule to kind of play, start those teams on the road, if you will, for a week or maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks, and then they can be back home. So, yeah, it's really, really fluid. We're having weekly and sometimes more frequently than weekly calls with the league and the owners, and it's a very fluid situation. We're hopeful that, obviously we're kind of in phase one. There are some lightening of some restrictions with restaurants and the like. And, of course, we want to get to that phase 3 where we can have unlimited crowd sizes so we can fill our ballparks.
Well, and also, too, regarding at least the start of the Expedition League at that kind of delayed time frame of mid-June of what you're kind of hoping, Steve, but kind of the main crux right now as well, too, where, compared to our American Legion baseball here in the state of Wyoming with Cheyenne Post 6 and the other Legion teams where, again, hey, they're here in Cheyenne, they're there in Casper, they don't have to travel across the nation, where, with the Expedition League and collegiate baseball, hey, you might have some players coming in from Chicago or New York City or Miami, for instance, some of those kind of major markets that are still kind of at least a little tough on those orders, still at that stay-at-home effect for a good while right now. Does that kind of pose a problem as well, too, for the Expedition League right now of trying to get all these players from around the nation to come out to Nebraska, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, to get them out of those kind of hard-hit areas?
It really does. It definitely plays a role, and it's something that we're considering. We have a task force made up of several of our owners who are really trying to, we're trying to be out in front of this as much as possible and anticipate those sort of issues, right? Because you make a very, very good point. We have players coming from across the country, and so what are those potential restrictions, and what do we need to do in that regard? And again, that will all become much more clear as we proceed. Clearly the safety of our fans and players and all of our employees and front office staffs and interns is vitally important. And so, those things are part of the decision-making process and things that we need to think about. And hopefully, the restrictions are lifted enough that these kids can come in and we can get our season started and do what we do best, and that is entertain the fans and make it great for the fan experience.
Steve, I want to go on more of a positive side, amongst all the negatives that have been thrown out. And again, Expedition League, everybody's been affected by what has happened across the nation. But let's talk about the Expedition League as you put this all together a few years back, and you've seen it grow with even the addition of the Canada franchise last year. You have to be very, very impressed how all these teams are are doing, especially for a summertime league. And again, here in our part of the world where weather comes into play more than COVID-19 does. But bottom line is, you have to be very impressed how this league has moved in a forward direction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're extremely humbled and thrilled with the results. And one of the biggest things for us when we started the league 6 years ago was that we were going to build something great for these communities and bring a brand of baseball and family entertainment that was missing to a certain extent, or at least another option for families at a great value to come out and just have a blast at the ballpark. And we've just been blessed the way the communities have embraced us. I mean, people have come out in big numbers. We've had tremendous success in just a couple of short years of baseball. Obviously, we're heading into our third season, and we're thrilled with the results so far. And I tell our owners and a lot of other folks all the time, we've just scratched the surface. I mean, we have some very, very aggressive strategic growth plans as far as expansion, and we're going to continue to grow. And there are many cities that are really prime prospects for us as we continue to grow the league and add expansion affiliates, including Cheyenne. So we certainly hope to have a team there, and I think it would be a huge success in Cheyenne as well. But yeah, we've been thrilled with the results, and we're humbled by it. The communities have embraced us, and we've loved being a really vital part of each of these communities and the quality of life in each of these communities.
And absolutely, we would love to have one of these franchises here in the city of Cheyenne. Obviously, we had you in about a couple months ago talking about the update of getting a team here to Cheyenne. But, looking at current franchises right now, part of this league, you mentioned at least one, the Canada, at least team out of Brandon, Manitoba, where, again, we look at what is happening kind of on the nationwide scale here in the U.S., where, again, a travel ban has been imposed, again, from Europe to Asia to even traveling across the border from Canada to Mexico. But with that being said, again, with the Wheat City Whiskey Jacks, something was announced along with also, too, the delay to the start of the season. But talk about what's going to happen with the Whiskey Jacks here in 2020 once that season gets underway.
Yeah, so, we were certainly doing everything we could potentially do this year to hopefully have a home season in Brandon, Manitoba. The fans up there have been fantastic. It's a beautiful, beautiful city and a great ballpark. And, about 5 or 6 weeks ago when the first ban on non-essential travel was in place, was a 30-day ban through April 20th. And at that point, so this would have been kind of right around March 20th, I started looking in other potential places within the U.S. where we could house our team for the 2020 season, knowing that might have just been the first piece of what could have been a potential problem for us. And sure enough, that ban was extended. And then last Wednesday, the premier of Manitoba came out and said, we're not going to allow any gatherings larger than 25 or maybe 50 at the max until September. And so obviously that sealed the deal for us, and unfortunately, we cannot play the 2020 season at Andrews Field up there in Brandon. So I'm in the process. I should have a signed lease by the time I put my head on my pillow tonight. I should have a signed lease for in a community in North Dakota that's actually been on our radar screen for a while as a potential expansion city. So the neat thing is, I think it's an opportunity for us to bring the Whiskey Jacks to that city this summer. The Whiskey Jacks will return to Brandon for the 2021 season, and then hopefully we're paving the way for an expansion affiliate in that community as early as next season in 2021.
Steve, and I don't want this to come off wrong, but, you look at 2020 and it's kind of it changes almost on a daily basis where, you're a thinker and all your owners, look to you to get things planned out. And, of course, like you said, all of the supporting cities have been just fantastic to the teams as well as to the ownership. And, again, it's also been good economic booms for all of these cities. But do you kind of go day to day on this year, or have you already just said, well, we'll kind of bumble and stumble through this year, but here's what I look ahead, here's what 2021 is going to look like. Have you already started looking ahead towards the next season?
Absolutely, and actually I do that quite a bit every year, so I've always got my eyes on, believe it or not, 2, 3, 4 years down the road. So I continue to work really, really hard on expansion, and that's always a key part of growing and strengthening our great league. And so yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are going to do everything we can to have a season this year, and again, a couple of our scheduling scenarios have us starting into July and still being able to have a 40 or 42 game season in a league championship series. So we continue to focus on a season in 2020 and everything we can potentially do to make that happen. And part of it is out of our hands, unfortunately, but we work very hard to do what we can to make sure that we do have a season this year. I think it'd be great for all of the communities. I believe will be a big part of the healing process across the footprint of our league. But absolutely looking to 2021 and beyond. I mean, I'm really excited. We have a number of potential expansion affiliates that we've been working very hard on. I can't wait to bring those teams into the league as we continue to grow our league.
Aside from if the word was no baseball this year, what's your biggest fear coming off this COVID-19 scare?
Well, we've talked about this, and obviously I know each of the teams and their financial performance intimately, and have a lot of dialogue with our owners. We're all going to be fine if we don't have a season. I mean, the Expedition League will be back in 2021. All 10 of our existing teams will be back in 2021. I mean, we certainly want a season, right? Because we're all small businesses, and we're like all of the other businesses that are, going through challenging times right now with this COVID deal. And so obviously we want to have an opportunity to play baseball this summer, to entertain our great fans, and to put a lot of butts in seats, and that bodes well for us from a business standpoint and profitability and cash flow. But in the event that there is no season this year, and I really feel like we will have at least, a partial season, in the event that there wouldn't be a season, we'll all be back strong for the 2021 season and hit the ground running hard. So we're not going anywhere.
Well, Steve, we want to thank you so much for joining us, and we're looking forward to the umpire saying play ball for the Expedition League once again. I know we're looking forward to probably heading up to Garion again and catch a couple of ball games up there as well, too. So thanks for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Good luck and continued success.
Thanks so much for having me, you guys. Look forward to seeing you at the ballpark this summer. Thanks again.
Steve Wagner, Expedition League president, joined us here in 1480 KRAE. Take a quick time out. We will be back. Get ready to wrap things up. Safety and health of their customers, employees, and the community, Wyoming Downs has made the necessary decision to temporarily close their locations. The closure now in effect will last a while. Wyoming Downs will keep their loyal guests and team members updated about this temporary closure, including any change in the date of their reopening through their website, email, and social media channels. They deeply appreciate your understanding during these unprecedented times. They ask that you please stay safe and adhere to the guidelines being issued by public health officials to limit the spread of COVID-19. Wyoming Downs looks forward to seeing you all very soon in the Cheyenne Plaza and on the South Greeley Highway inside at the Outlaw Saloon.
With all this newfound time at home, it's good to get an easy win for the whole family. So this month, we're turning Taco Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Get our 6-pack and a pound. That's 6 savory beef tacos and a pound of crispy potato olays for $2 off any day of the week. Taco John's. See you in the drive-thru.
Drive-thru still open for all your family's favorites with easy ordering on the app and delivery at participating locations with the Taco John's app. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Did you know B&B Appliance and TV has a local warehouse where they stock a variety of appliances in a wide range of colors and finishes, including black and white? Their friendly staff realizes that one look isn't for everyone, and appliance shopping isn't always convenient. B&B Appliance offers free in-town delivery and disposal of your old appliances. They'll be there for you after the sale, too, because they always service what they sell. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Hi, I'm Tristan Johnson, mortgage lender at Platte Valley Bank. A home is more than where you live. It's where you make a life. At Platte Valley Bank, we have tailored home loan products paired with great rates and friendly people so you can focus on making memories, not paperwork. I will work with you every step of the way to find the mortgage product that is right for you. Stop by Platte Valley Bank at 3310 North College Drive in Cheyenne or visit www.pvbank.com to get started today.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicare Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicare pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicare Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicare Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, increasing clouds, expected daytime high of 64, mostly clear for tonight with our low down to 37. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow and windy, expected daytime high of 59. Winds out of the west at 25 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And for Thursday night, it's going to be partly cloudy with a chance of rain during the evening and then gradually clearing after midnight, our low dropping down to 28 degrees.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Just a couple more minutes on the program here today. First off, thank you again to Kevin McKinney joining us from the University of Wyoming as he was in the office today. And we also want to thank most recently Steve Wagner, Expedition League president, joining us live here on 1480 KRAE. You know, we've covered football. We've covered baseball. Let me throw a basketball note in there about Kevin Durant. Right now, the New Jersey ownership is not sure about when KD may return or not. He was scheduled to take place or take part in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Obviously, that's been pushed back to 2021.
No one's returning right now.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think he's fully recovered from the Achilles injury. And again, this is just something that you just don't put. You go through rehab and put your shoe back on and play. Yeah. There's going to be some pain involved there. Matter of fact, Kobe Bryant went through that. And his last couple 3 years, again, age caught up with him as well too. But it slows you down. So KD right now not 100% as he keeps working out with the.
Is there any reason to rush him back? Obviously not.
No,
so again,
not at all.
You play safe with them, and again, NBA is not even talking about right now that they're even completing the season. They're not even doing a postseason.
And you know who's been on the milk carton? It's been hockey, National Hockey League. Not much has been going on.
Hockey supposedly is looking into empty arenas to just go into straight playoffs. We'll see.
And that's pretty much the norm right now. Matter of fact, ESPN coronavirus lockdown fans study surveyed about 1,004 sports fans, which is not a great number.
It's not a great sample size.
18 or older, and 65% were in favor of sports returning, even if fans can't be in the stands. So, again, just about every franchise has some type of television deal. and again, from hockey, basketball, football, as well as baseball. So, again, it would be up to sponsorships.
Yeah.
If you're a salesman in the television world, here's your chance to show your mark. But everything is, again, on media somehow, some way, whether it's broadcast via radio or you can see it on television. I'm assuming a lot like we do with YouTube and what have you, Periscope via Twitter. So, again,
these pro sports can sustain all this, or at least, again, if they have to go the empty arena route, which is sounding like they're going to, and again, it sounds like, again, the sample size was not as massive as people would like. But again,
I think they're speaking pretty much on behalf of fans in general. You and me, we want to see sports.
Yeah, again, if I can't attend it, whatever, I've kind of come to that realization that, hey, that might be a reality. And again, it's not even just pros. It might go on down to even American Legion Baseball here in the state of Wyoming.
Or high school.
Yeah, without a doubt. So it's kind of that reality for this year, and hopefully it's only for 2020. But again, to get past the replays, to get back into, again, a somewhat, or at least get closer to that old normality that was, again, where we're not going to, but at least to have some glimmer of hope, so to speak. Yeah, sure. Hey, hockey, NBA, MLB, go out there, go play in some remote area and go right ahead.
It was interesting. I watched a little bit of the South Korean Baseball League. And it was interesting because, and Nick, you've been with me when I've been down in Arizona and we've played. There's nobody in the stands, right? You've sat there when we got one or two people watching.
Well, and supposedly what the Korean League did is they put like cardboard cutouts in there.
To make it look like fans. But I mean, the bottom line was, it's like when I'm playing over at Goodyear Park, and there's like 2 or 3 people in the stands, there with their wives, and they're cheering for them. I mean, other than that, you could hear nice crack of the bat with the ball in the bat, and you can hear all the guys cheering for each other. You hear all the dugout going ons.
Yeah.
So I can live with that. I can live with that for a while, but I again,
and this is where those leagues have to be creative, and I would assume that they are.
The cardboard cutouts, though.
Well, no, we're not saying cardboard cutouts or anything like that,
saying.
but again, whether it is you mic up athletes or, again, you find some way to be innovative during this time to not focus on, hey, there are no fans in attendance. There's going to be ways, and you saw it a little bit with what happened with the WWE and WrestleMania. Obviously, now the understanding is that for both kind of those pro wrestling outfits of whether it's WWE, AEW, I guess they've both been relaxed to now at least have limited fans, now start attending events again, and we'll see how that goes. But you would assume that these pro leagues, if NHL goes straight into playoffs, if NBA goes straight into playoffs, you got to find a way to be unique, creative during this time. So, again, you're not focused on, hey, there's an empty arena and all it is just back and forth basketball with commentators underneath, and it just there's some weirdness about it. It again,
it's empty. There's an emptiness.
There's got to be some way that you take the focus off of that. There's empty. It's weird. It's different, and you go, hey, this is normal.
How is it when it's practice though? It's empty when it's practice.
Yeah.
So again, all you're doing basically not so much as a scrimmage.
You could easily mic up players, mic up coaches, have all that fun stuff. Be creative, unique. Again, whatever way, but it'll be interesting to see if at all. Again, it's kind of the question mark where NBA basically is. They were one of the outspoken ones at, once they basically shut down things early on. And again, ironically, where the NBA was kind of the first domino to fall until everything else became kind of fell in line. But, they were the first saying, hey, we'll come back at a point in time and we may just go straight into playoffs, but we will return to finish out this season. Now here we are about 2 months after the fact. They're going, yeah, we have no interest.
And if you remember, they start their preseason in October. So
and again, they have the summer league as well too. And again, they also canceled, or at least they postponed the draft. So the draft is not even happening.
Yeah. So a lot of things right now is on hold, and we don't know. And again, the country is slowly returning. Again, we talked about this before too, Nick. And as we get ready to wrap this up, the midsection of the U.S. is, I call us, kind of the Midwest. But, it's starting to open its doors again. And again, we're waiting on Governor Gordon here next week. Maybe could happen earlier. I don't know. But we're going to start seeing the relaxation. And again, if we can, you and me can go, and again, we can sit side by side in a restaurant, but if we go with a buddy of ours, he's got us 6 feet away, it's progress as far as I'm concerned. So, once we get into a restaurant where there's 25 people, or you go to Wyoming Downs and 25 are playing on the machines, whatever the case may be, you start seeing the relaxation, and people will start coming out of this freaked out mode. There's going to be a handful out there that are going to be worried about it, but you and me, have we wore a mask? No, I'm not freaked out about this. I feel we're both healthy, and we were put on a bus this year going back and forth with young men and women that were coughing, hacking all the time, and we ended up being okay.
Yeah, I approach a situation that I feel like I've already had it. If it's this contagious, we're good.
We try to take care of ourselves, and that's the thing. People need to take care of themselves. If it makes them feel better wearing a mask,
it's something that I said when we came on immediately after the state tournament was closed. Again, even before what we know as of now, here it is May 6th, but it's still the same effect of, hey, be smart, be safe out there, without a doubt.
And we want you to stay healthy. But again, if you need to wear a mask, that makes you feel good. You want to wear gloves, that makes you feel good. Go for it. No one's impeding on your rights. You can do what you want to do. But again, don't impede on my rights. I want to go and I want to go eat. I want to sit down at a table. When I go over to Joe's place, go to Mondello's, I want to sit down there, and I don't want to keep getting takeout. I'm tired of styrofoam. Let's get back to some semblance of bringing everything back to order. It's baseball season. Let's get the young men back on the field. Let's get the pros back on the field, and let's get ready for summer. Hey, Frontier Days. Frontier Days is they're a go. They're right now saying rodeos and concerts are still a go for July. So I tip my cap to Tommy Hersig and the group out there. As a matter of fact, they're going to hold graduations out there June 12th and the 13th for the 4 high schools, Triumph, South, East, and Central. So again, that's going to be their practice run. And again, Laramie County School District number 1, Boyd Brown, the superintendent, said, hey, let's give the class of 2020 a chance to be recognized. And again, they're going to open up the Frontier Days Arena with social distancing, seating.
Yeah, as what you probably saw with the Air Force Academy where they had their graduation. It was seats apart,
And the rodeo arena seats about 19,000. Can they get about 4,000 or 5,000 in there with family and friends? Yeah, sure.
If family and friends are even allowed again.
I think by about that part of June we'll be ready to roll. I really believe we will be. All right, we got to wrap things up. We're not sure on our next show. We'll be back for sure next week, but
probably not tomorrow. Friday, obviously not, where, again, we have the Cruise in Cheyenne thing to at least kind of focus on. Again, encourage folks to at least tune in for that. Cruise with us downtown Cheyenne. Again, the map, all that good information online, facebook.com/KYYFM 1480 KRAE as well, too, on the Facebook side. Twitter, @NickWileSports. Again, all of it is pinned at the top, so you can find all the information, what the cause is for, the link to the cause as well, too, to go donate, and also, too, how you can request as well, too, to cruise along with the rest of Cheyenne downtown, again, as we are there to at least
get out of the house, stretch your legs. And gas is $1.80, so you might as well take advantage of it right now, because I'm sure it'll go back up soon as everybody's out traveling again. They'll find a way to jack it up on us.
$1.29 in like Chicago.
Well, yeah, I saw in Laramie it was under $1 in a place in Laramie.